everyone, so in this video today I will show you how you can rerun the failed workflow that are the out of the box workflow. So let's get started. So first of all we will create one solution. As you can see I am creating one, and in the solution first of all we will create a workflow, or we can say let's first create one model driven app so that it will be helpful for us to see it as well. Let me quickly create one model driven app. Here I will select contact, save and publish. Now we will create one workflow. Let's give a name as a test workflow, and in the table we will select contact. So as you can see that is my application, and when I click on contact, so that is the workflow which I have created, and you can see the entity is the contact and it will start when the record is created. And I'm adding one step, that is update record, and it will update the, let's say, job title. It will update the job title. I have to set the property. Here in the property, in the field, I will add one text that is updated from workflow. So whenever this workflow will trigger, it will update the job title. And let me save and activate. Now let's create one record to see our workflow is working fine or not. Let me give any kind of names and let me save. So job title should be update as I create one new record. As it is a async job, it will take some time, and you can see it is a background workflow. So now as you can see the job title is updated. Now here I will go to advanced setting. I will open advanced find, and here you can see the process session. So that process session data I want in advanced find, so I'm selecting over here system job, and system job created on today, and system job name will be the same name of my process name, test workflow, and system job type will be my workflow, and here status reason I'm saying succeed, which are successed. So as you can see this data I'm getting over here. So why I created this one, because I want to use this query into Power Automate. Also here I want to show you one thing, that I want workflow ID as well. To get the workflow ID, this workflow ID I want in the Power Automate so that I can trigger or execute it. So as I copied this ID of workflow, the same ID I needed, so here I am adding one column, add column. Here I am selecting one ID, that is the workflow activation ID entity, and in that entity I will get one column, that is parent workflow ID. So in that the ID will be stored. So just we have to click on OK, and parent process. So as you can see here, when I click that record, I'm getting directly the ID of the workflow. It is the same which I have copied earlier. Okay, now I need to create a Power Automate flow. So I will go to Automation Cloud Flow and I will click on Instance. It is instant flow. I will give a name Rerun Failed Workflow. Click on Create. So here I will give one step, that is list row, and in that I will provide same way a system job, and in fetch XML query I will give this query, which is an advanced find. I will download the fetch XML, save, and I will just copy it and paste in the flow and click on save. Test. So as you can see, our flow is run and it is successfully run. So as we are getting data from system job, now after this we have to initiate one variable that will be the workflow ID variable. That variable I will initiate over here, so that I can use that in the further steps. I will give a type as string and rename as workflow ID. Here I am using the HTTP request, and here I will provide the URL. So the URL will be this one. As you can see, from this URL we will execute the workflow, and we have to pass the workflow ID over here. Here I will give basic things, that is content type, that is application JSON, then OData Max version 4.0. Now in the body I will provide the entity ID, so against which record the workflow is triggering, that is a contact. So that's stored in the regarding value. So as you can see, as I added the regarding value, it went to the apply to each loop automatically, because id these contacts would be number of multiple record would be there, so it can be multiple records over here, so that's why. So here you can see regarding the id of the record is stored. So now here in authentication I will provide a user active directory authentication. Active directory authentication I will provide over here, and I will provide tenant ID, audience, and all things. So in audience it will be the URL of your instance till dynamics.com, and here you can see tenant ID, client ID we have to give it. So for that we have to go to portal.azure.com. Here I will create one app. I will register one app giving basic information. And click on register. So as you can see we get the client ID. We'll copy it. And the tenant ID. After this we will need a secret ID. So for that first we have to go to certificate and secret. Here I will create a new client secret. Here I will give a random name, that is testing, and click on add. I will copy the value, not the secret ID value. I will copy the value. And also in the API permission I will provide the API permission to Dynamics CRM user impersonation add, and then you have to just copy this app name. You have to add this application user in the environment of yours. So as my environment is concept learn, here I will go to user section, then I will click on app user list. So here I will add a new app user. Here I will select my environment, business type, business unit, and here you can see the same test app 001 that I have created through Azure, that is present over here, and that I have added. Also we have to provide the security role as well, so that using that user which type of manipulation we can do on data, that will be defined. So I have added system admin and customizer. Now here I will provide tenant ID, then client ID, and then secret. So it is just for the demo purpose. Don't use this tenant ID, client ID and all. It is already deactivated when you are watching this video. So after this step, or before this step, I need to create one variable. We need to set the variable of the workflow ID. So here I need to provide expression to grab the value from parent process ID, as we set in advanced find as well, to get the workflow ID. Same way I have write an expression. As you can see, one error is coming, so just need to give any random thing and save it. So I will open in a duplicate tab. So so that is the expression basically, and this expression we will use over here. So first of all, I will change the alias name to workflow, that is WF. I will give only WF, and here also I will change to WF. As you can see, parent workflow ID, so that I will add over here in the expression. Same expression I will copy from here, and I will provide this in expression and click on OK. So let's test this one. So let's test this one. So there is one error we got. Let's check what is the error. So we got the workflow ID, means our expression is right. So we got error in HTTP. Oh, so as you can see in the URL, so I got the cause of error. Here we need to so as you can see, the ID is correct, whatever we are getting. Over here you can see the URL is not same. As you can see, the instance URL is different over here, so I need to give the correct instance URL. Okay, now click on save and test. And here also one typo mistake. Okay, now all good. One more error I got, that is workflow must be marked as on demand or child workflow. Okay, the workflow which we are trying to trigger, that is not marked as on demand, so that we have to mark. So let's go to our workflow, and here you can see it is not marked as on demand, so I will deactivate it and marked it as on demand, and click on save and activate. Now let's go to the flow and try to test it again, and let's see this time our this power automate flow will trigger or not, and through that our workflow trigger or not. So yes, it is successfully ran, and as you can see it is ran successfully. And here I will go to advanced find as well. Here all things are good. Now I can see over here there are two records, and the owner is the test app 001 because he initiated the workflow of that app user. So now just I will change to failed and remove the succeed. So whenever some workflow is failed, that record will be stored over here. This record will go to the power automate, and through that it will trigger those workflows again. Just I will again copy the fetch XML, and I will also remove the alias name and update it to the WF. You can change the fetch XML query from advanced find as your need, and you can change the power automate trigger point as well. So for the demo purpose I have used the manual trigger flow. So it ran successfully, and it should be update the record. So here I will go so here I will create one business rule, and through that business rule I will try to give intentional error for workflow, so that we will get the failed workflows record. So first of all I will add this entity against which I have a business rule, and here I will create one business rule. Here in condition I will provide that the job title is updated from workflow, and here I will give an error and try to apply it. and try to save it. Oh, so I need to select job title as well. Error from business rule. Plan save. Activate. So now workflow, whenever try to update that field, and it will throw the error from business rule, as we have set the condition that if the job title is updated from the workflow, throw the error, and that job error is so now I am trying to trigger the workflow intentionally. As you can see, the workflow is running, it is in progress, and it is failed because of business rule. Now I can see these failed record over here. So same way in Power Automate, it will take that failed record and it will try to rerun, as we have said in query as well. Just test it. And it ran successfully. Okay, now it will trigger. So as you can see, there are two failed jobs because we have triggered the workflow, and that workflow updating the job title as job title. On job title also we have business rule, and because of that it is throwing error, so it will continuously fail. But that's how we get to know that we can rerun the failed workflows again if it is intermittently failing or any other reason that may help. So that's all for the day.